Sorry, I didn't see you there, guys. Good morning. Sydney here, in Sydney. It's, you know, my usual watch, my usual clock doesn't seem to be working, right? So for a moment there, I didn't know what time it was. But then I worked out what time it was. Because you know what time it is? It's smoothie time. That's what I'm talking about. Morning NYC and Avon. So guys, as I mentioned in my video yesterday, I went back to my old marital home to pick up some of my stuff. You can still see some in the back. I have cleared out a fair bit of the clutter. And, you know, look, we always talk about marriage, right? And how we were stupid to get married. And, you know, perhaps in hindsight, some of us who have been married were. But we also need to remind ourselves that we're only human. We also need to remind ourselves about why we got married. Because we as human beings don't do things without a why. We don't do things without just cause, without reason. Why is this damn thing shaking? Man, I need to get a wheel alignment on this bad boy. So yeah, you need to think to yourself, why is it that I got married to begin with? Why is it that I got into that relationship? Why is it that I had kids with that person to begin with? And when it is that you actually realize why it is that you got into that relationship, why it is that you had kids with that person, that's when your process of true forgiveness begins. Right? And I guess I always knew, but you know, going over there to their house last night, it really gave me a sense of peace and clarity. Because now that, you know, all the hurt's over, I know there's still a lot of bitterness in a lot of marriages that have failed, even 20 years on, but fortunately things are in the end quite amicable between me and my ex-wife. And you know, we were talking and we were just having a chat, and I was taking my vacuum, but she was saying, oh look, can I hold on to it for another couple of days? I was hoping to vacuum the stairs in the car. I said, well, how about I do that for you now before I take it? And she was really appreciative of that. There was nothing in it for me, but it's just a kind thing to do, right? Because it's not cheap paying that mortgage on your own and all these other things. Regardless, you know, it was that sense of mutual appreciation that she was just being, even though, look, it's still my stuff, yes. But when you have things in your house long enough, you know, you learn to make that part of your life. And that includes people and belongings. And then when those things disappear from your life, it can be a bit of shell shock. So, you know, I was taking the vacuum come hell or high water. But the fact that she was so gracious about it, and so, oh look, you know what, that's cool. Like, I don't need to vacuum the stairs of the car right now. You know, you can take it. I'll go buy another vacuum. You know, and it was just common decency that she showed. And, you know, we still had a bit of a laugh and, you know, carrying on about things, and still a very similar sense of humor. And it really made me realize that I got married for what I thought were all the right reasons. And I got married to somebody that I thought that I was going to have a good, strong, long-term relationship with, that I was going to be happy with. But if you guys saw the thumbnail of this video, it's expectations versus reality. And what my expectations were of a marriage after I moved in with this person that, you know, just clicked on all levels with. You know, my reality wasn't the same as what my expectations were. They were not aligned. And, you know, look, there's a few facets to this. So one of it is that, well, hey, maybe I shouldn't have had expectations to begin with, because the only person that I can actually ensure meets my expectations is myself, right? So it's okay to have expectations of myself, but when you start having expectations of others, that's when you start to experience disappointment and resentment, which is exactly what happened, guys. You know, I did expect things of her that she didn't deliver on. I guess I kind of imagined it would be like my mum and dad's marriage, where, yeah, they piss each other off sometimes, but overwhelmingly, you know, they work well together. They're a good team. There hasn't been any fights over money. And if there has, it's just been like minor shit, like, you know, mum getting the shits at dad spending more money than he had to on something when she had a bigger vision. Because, you know, my dad never really had the long-term financial vision, and that was actually my mum, because she was an accountant when she was younger. So, you know, I get it. So, you know, I guess I kind of, after seeing the model, and I'm sorry if this is dropping in and out, guys, it keeps saying very bad connection on my screen. And after seeing the model of my dad and my mum together for so many years, mum would cook the dinner every night. It doesn't matter how much you rationally say to someone that, well, I know you're getting married, but the dinner's not going to be on the table of a nighttime because this person, your wife, works too, whereas your mum didn't. It's like, yeah, well, I know that, but still, it's kind of hard to crack that pattern of thought of expectation after 25 odd years, you know, 30 years, however long it is, because that's what I'd always seen in my parents' marriage, and that's how I envisaged mine to be. And because I saw this incredible connection between me and my ex, you know, I thought, well, the marriage will be even better than my mum's and my dad's. But, you know, it takes more than this connection, and more than just friendship, and more than just humor, and more than just finishing each other's sentences. You know, it takes mutual partnership. And I'm not going to say it takes work, okay? Because life takes work, period. Right? But life with two people in the same house takes understanding and dynamics. And the dynamic that my ex-wife and I needed to stay married was not present. It wasn't there as much as we would have liked it to be. As much as we would have liked to play happy families for the rest of our life and never argue, and, you know, not separate and not have to go through the roller coaster that is a separation after a long-term relationship, particularly when there's marriage and assets involved. But it is what it is. More smoothie time. Now, guys, I also mentioned either yesterday or the day before, I can't remember, that I had some feedback that some of my subs were getting a bit frustrated with the constant shout outs to you guys. But I still want to give you men shout outs because I appreciate you all. I said hello to NYC and Avon at the start of the stream, but I also wanted to give some big love to Mad Shangy, Boski, Irish MGTOW, my man, Prince for Kingdom, doing good, man, Dirk Commissar, Ralph Wiggum, Sam, what we got in the box? We got Mio 100, we got Sam. Yeah, so and now a couple of guys in the box have made some good points that do relate back to this video. Ralph says she can spend more money on cat food now. You are selfless. Way to be the bigger person and do nice things even if she wasn't deserving. Look, Ralph, during the marriage there were problems on both sides. Now, I wasn't perfect, she wasn't perfect, but we weren't the right dynamic to be a married couple. It's just as simple as that. What's that song? I'm trying to remember it. It says, it's by Patti Smythe and Don Medley, I think it is, and it's called "Sometimes Love Just Ain't Enough." And that's very true, actually. Sometimes love just ain't enough. And love or the feeling of love can only get you so far. And Ralph Wiggum, I wish she would maybe spend a little more money on cat food, because my cat's still living there. I went over there yesterday, it's quite thin. And I just don't, you know, look, I guess I'm more attuned to him. I think she just doesn't realize what it is that he needs nutritionally. So I'm going to make sure I go and get him back very shortly so that he can get the nutrition and the attention that he needs. He's still, like, he's not scrawny and skin and bones. He's not about to drop dead. But I do need to address it very, very shortly. Mad Matt Chengi says, I know a woman that was still running to her ex to have bills paid for her after the divorce. And that she got married because she needed a daddy. Look, Matt Chengi, fortunately my ex-wife didn't come to me for the money. She had her own money. She was working as a nurse. She's making more money than I was at the time. And she paid her own bills, which is cool. But when we got married, I simpingly volunteered to pay for everything, which was probably a big mistake. In fact, it was a big mistake. It wasn't probably a big mistake. Psalm says, yeah, my roommate is still getting divorced and she still fucks him for rent money. Why am I not surprised? Why am I not surprised? I'm lucky. Yeah, I am lucky it didn't turn out even worse than it did. And no man should get married in this day and age. Different generation, different women. Women today now says Irish MGTOW. That's correct. It's the divorce that ruins you after the marriage. It isn't that no-fault divorce ruins things. Yeah, it was a shitty situation, Neo, but what can you do, man? Yeah, okay, guys. Look, I've read all the comments. Thank you so much for jumping in and giving your thoughts on everything. I appreciate you all. You're good men. Thank you very much. But, it's time for Sydney MGTOW to tune out now. It's time for Sydney MGTOW to go and finish his smoothie. It's time for Sydney MGTOW to get shit done and make shit happen because he has the penis. MGTOW is freedom, guys. I appreciate you all. I love you all. Thank you so much for joining the stream this morning. And I look forward to seeing you next time, guys. Peace.